Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to look at more sales pages, and it will be a training specifically for nailing your above the fold section, and we're going to get really practical. The above the fold section is the section on the sales page that people can see immediately before they start to scroll, right? So this is the above the fold section, for example, of the Coach Growth Hub of my mini membership. So this is above the fold. Now people need to scroll, and then it's not above the fold anymore. And I also, of course, want to let you know most people will see your above the fold page on mobile. So this is above the fold for me on mobile. And today we are going to look at our members. Let me just very quickly check if the audio is working. Yes. Okay. Today we're going to check some of my members above the fold sections of their mini memberships, and we're going to compare them and we're going to optimize them so we can have some insight and learning, so we can optimize the above the fold page, because this is where most people decide whether they will buy or not. Okay, so this is all, I think, mini memberships, all memberships. So we're gonna open up just everyone who agreed with having it looked at here, and let me see. Another membership. Okay. Another membership. Let's see how many we still got. Anita's. Okay, last one, because otherwise you might get too overwhelming. Okay. So now the first thing is that I will start with first impression. Okay, so show it to people and ask for their first impression. Okay, so first impression here is, I immediately understand it's about podcasts, so it's very easy to read. The green is a little bit much for me on the eye, but first impression is I can clearly see what it's about, and it looks like a lot of value. Okay, first impression is I like the colors, but I struggle to immediately understand what it is. It's playful. I like that, but I also struggle to immediately capture what it is. So I'm really just looking, and I'm not, like a customer would, and I'm seeing if I can immediately understand. I can immediately understand what it is. Yes. And it looks very enticing. Yes, I can immediately understand what it is. Immediately understand what it is. I also think this looks nice. Yes. Looks very well organized. I can immediately understand. I can immediately understand what it is. I have an idea of what it is. It's somehow calming. I think that this is a little bit lost here. I can immediately understand what it is, yes. I can immediately understand what it is. The Christian came after. I'm not sure if if I could immediately understand what it is, because I have a personal connection to the word hub. I love this though. Yes. Actually, this is really good. This is really good. It's immediately quite credible with this. I like it. Radiant by design. I cannot immediately understand what it is, but it stands out to me. Okay, so my first kind of takeaway is that, okay, let me see here. Yeah. Okay, so what I would love is, and what I would recommend is, if you have a clear descriptive name that makes it easy for people to understand what you do, that's a good thing. And it should be bold and big in the mock-up. Confident Woman Lead is the name of your membership, but I only on a second glance saw that it's for professional Black women. So I'm not sure if career community professional Black women career community wouldn't serve you better here in the mockup. I love this, but it's so difficult for me fully understand, like immediately capture it. So I would also try to, in here in the mockup, incorporate that name. That was so clear. I love that. That is also clear. Clear. Yeah. So I think that the first takeaway is, yes, that was also clear. Here, I missed the mockup, like in general, a little bit. And it is because, we have the mockup with the tangible things here because we actually want to take off the perceived risk of buying from somebody we don't know, like, or trust yet, right? Because it's a stranger. When we have a mockup with tangible deliverables, we kind of get an idea of, oh, okay, this is what I'll be getting, right? So it immediately lowers the perceived risk. Okay, so tip number 2, have a mockup to lower the perceived risk. Tip number 3, boldly communicate clearly the name. Okay, how can we say? Main frame of the mockup needs to immediately communicate what this is about. Okay, so let me just see if I get any questions. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so those were kind of my main things here. Now let's look at the mockups themselves again. Okay, so first, again, I'm just going like off first impression. Here I was like, oh, this is a lot. Here I was like, okay. Here I was like, okay. Here I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. Here I was like, okay. Here I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. Here I was like, okay. Here I was like, looks professional, but I don't know, because I don't know, exactly what I'm getting. So I would add a mockup, and you can add, I love the picture of you actually, because you know what? There's a thing about somebody saying, I can stand for this with my face, right? So putting your face there is also like putting your, like signing this with your name, like standing for it. I love that. I think that's a good trust builder in itself. At the same time, I'm still like missing some sort of tangible thing here. And you could put that here potentially, without covering you. And I actually think also it's a very great brand picture. So when we just compare brand pictures right now, I also, what I also love this because you're sparkling. You almost look like a fairy from the cards. So it's actually cohesive. I like it. The only thing that I want to say is here, it's a little bit blurry. And here the quality of the picture with the background depth, etc., that's just a more elevated like brand image as well. But I do really feel that here it's a good fit with the cards, with like that is like a whole cohesive thing. And I can see people are loving this, right? Same as here. I really think that's a very nice, great picture, very professional, and it builds trust. Here I'm feeling, I don't know. I feel this is, yes, this is giving me a lot, and this is helpful. This is very helpful. But it could be more. I don't know. Maybe it could branch out a little bit more here. It's giving me more than this one, but I think it could be more generous. This is super generous, and like I said, I love this. It's so good. This is so good if you can incorporate. Tip number 4, stand for your offer with your face and or try to bring in coaching call screenshots. That's actually something I would love to test for my own mockups because we do have them. And I feel for the new mockup, I'm not showing my face anymore. Okay, I'm showing it like here. And here we have the community. So I like this, but I think we could even like show coaching. Okay, so here we actually don't show. That actually makes sense, because in Coach Growth Hub we actually don't have the coaching calls, right? So that would then be a little bit misleading, because we actually just have the Q&As. So with that, it's fine. Here it seems like you also have the Q&A in here for the $7 per month. So that's very generous, and that's great. I think there's really something to this. And I think that this mockup looks extremely generous. What sometimes throws me off like a lot is little things like, for example, here having no padding or not enough padding, and it just really makes a difference as into how valuable your tools are perceived. So really paying attention to this. So I would just add a little bit of padding here. But overall, like, I love this one. It's generous. It fills this whole thing. I feel like I'm getting a lot. And here I feel like this will be like a great size for like a self-liquidating offer kind of thing. But for a membership, I would love to see like a bigger one. And if you're in Coaching Minimum, or even in Coach Growth Hub, we actually have them. We should have the mega mockups for you guys. Let me just quickly show you where to find it. And see, I haven't even written, like, I didn't even read a word yet. Okay, so Mission Membership Challenge. Day 4. Here we have mega mockups. I would go probably like with this one, the largest one here. And the other ones I would probably use for below on the sales page, but try to go like really, really large. And you can also come to the design calls with Jessa to work on your mockups a little bit more. So make them more filling, right? When you look at this page, the mockup is really, really filling, right? Okay, so number 5, make a mockup screen filling. Okay. Tip number 6, pay attention to padding and placement of the resources in mockup to create a really professional look and feel. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of it for the mockup. What I'm noticing is what nobody has is the membership login on top. We added this because people kind of struggled a little bit with finding their login, and I think that it actually really helps kind of, immediately showing that there are members here that want to log in. So in itself is a little bit of a social proof ad. So tip number 7, and I know that you have worked off the old template we had, but we redid the sales page, many times, and this is the highest converting one. So I'm updating you on tips on that. Okay. Add login button to top of page. Okay, so next thing. Let's go for the text itself. So what I do like is, and what I think makes a lot of sense, is to not immediately start with the mockup, but to actually have your audience call out above, right? So my audience call out, I have the original success camp for coaching course creator, become a sort of the expert fast and make a great living helping people. And then below that, I have join the members for only 7 months. Yes, I want instant access now. So I have actually added that above the mockup. And I also like how it's here, how it's split up. I think that also works. But I love here how much we can kind of communicate. So I would pull at least the audience call out above the fold, above the mockup. Pull audience call out above the mockup. Okay, so where is my audience call out? For coaches and course creators. Okay, let me see if that's immediately clear. Podcast Hub. Join our members in the Podcast Growth Hub for podcasters. That is a little bit redundant, and in that sense, it doesn't serve you. So who's your audience like really? Is it new and established podcasters? So let me just scroll down. Love that you have so much social proof. Wow, look at that. So if you want to start a podcast, I think you have a membership to explore. New podcasters, seasoned podcasters. Okay, so every word above the fold we ideally want to use. So let's see if we can rework this audience call out. Let me also just quickly see if we have any questions. Hi, guys. So I just asked who is okay if I stream to my YouTube channel. So you can still post it there. I will keep going back to that post to pull examples. That's okay. I will keep doing those examples, of course. Oh no, I need to share my screen again. Guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, so sorry. Can you see my screen again now? Okay, so I was talking here about how I have the text on top of the mockup, and then how I have the membership here. And then when I go here, Anita also has the text above the mockup, and everyone else doesn't seem to do this. There's a little bit of a special case on this page. But nobody else seems to use this space for audience call out, which is something that I would do. And then I was going here in the podcasting membership, and this is welcome to the Podcast Growth Hub. Okay, podcast, we know it. And then we have join our members in the Podcast Growth Hub for podcasters, grow your podcast and turn your listeners into clients fast. Okay, so this I love, but we're still at the audience call out, and because you have the Podcast Growth Hub here and then join our members in the Podcast Growth Hub for podcasters, this feels a little bit redundant. And I see you targeting established and new podcasters. So let's try to, and because we want to make every word count, let's try to rework this and see how we can have a strong audience call out. Can you give me a strong, short audience call out that doesn't feel redundant? I can help new and established podcasters. New podcasters might not even identify as such yet. How can we call them if they don't have a podcast yet but are thinking about it? Dreaming of your own podcast. Okay, I like dreaming of your own podcast, or want to grow and monetize faster. Can you give me variations of the sentence I just shared? I think planning your first podcast or aiming to monetize faster could work. From podcast dreamers to those scaling and monetizing, this is for you. Okay, I like this, but simpler. You'll see me say a lot of times, I want this less redundant, I want this simpler, say this shorter. So podcast streamers to pros, this is for you. No, I actually like this a lot. Dreaming of your own podcast. or want to grow. I actually like this most. Okay, see what it comes back with. I think this is the kind of audience call out that I would add here on top. Okay, and then I wouldn't necessarily even say the members. Grow your monitor. Okay, so grow your podcast and turn your listeners into clients fast. So I like it, but let's try to make it a new opportunity. Let me peek a little bit into your signature method. 100K downloads. Okay, I've supported clients to go from 0 to over 100, from 0 to 15K downloads a month. Okay, so now I want to make my headline more specific. Give it an edge as into sharing my expertise and how it can tap into it. Current headline I like, but could be sharper and more enticing and more spotlighting my unique method. And now my background. Give me 10 powerful headline variations. Consider before and after, and other transformational formulas. Get booked, get sponsored, get listened to. My proven formula for I like this: get booked, get sponsored, get listened to. But I feel like it needs to be like get listened to, get sponsored, get booked, tap into my tap into the podcasting growth strategies that helped my clients to along these lines. Because you would always want to be honest, get listened to, get sponsored, get booked, tap into the podcast growth strategy that skyrocketed my client success. Be specific in my client's outcomes, like I provided you the details for. Get listened to, get sponsored, get booked, tap into the strategies that took my clients from 0 to 100K downloads and 15K monthly listens. Okay, so can you see how this headline is like much more specific, and it decreases again the perceived risk because you're being very, very specific. And with that, you wouldn't say that, right, if you didn't have those numbers, right? So most new people don't even know if those are good numbers or not, right? But if you put them there, it implies that. So this is what I do. I share also this conversation here in our session notes. Chat GPT conversations. So you can see how I prompted and how I used it. And if you're the lovely person with this membership, then you might want to keep the conversation from there. Okay, so up here, the audience call out. That is dreaming of a podcast or want to grow and monetize faster, then either your mock-up or the headline, get listened to, get sponsored, get booked, tap into the strategies that took my clients from 0 to 100K downloads and 50K monthly listeners. And then the mock-up or the mock-up in between those two. So this is what I would do. Get live coaching on-demand training tools for only $7 a month. And then I don't necessarily think you need this. You would just need to add, yes, I want instant access now. And I would put all of that into this box. And I would reconsider the background a little bit. You can stay with the green, but then try to give it a little bit of structure, right? Like some graining, etc. So here's what I'm thinking. Just because it is hard on the eye, right? It's and also for this font, I would probably go with something that has a little bit more body to it, like in the sense of it has a little bit more. How can I say it? This is the same kind of fonts. I would give it something that, I don't know, either bold it or use. Let me see like here, this, it feels like it has a lot more body to it. I'm not a font professional, so I cannot describe it probably in the proper words you should use, but I just see that this is easier to read and it has more weight to it. So I wish that we could tweak this a little bit. And then let me show you, for example. Okay, so when you have like a really bold color like this, like a, okay. What I would love is you can look for things like paper. Then you get a little bit of structure. So let's say we can use this here. And then you make it almost transparent. Right? So just that you have a little bit of texture there. Maybe like this could work even better, just so you have a little bit of texture. It really helps with making it feel less less in your face. Right, so here you could also, for example, use one here, but then I would just remove the saturation completely to have it black and white. And then again, see how it just, I don't know if you can see this, guys, but it just adds this little bit of texture that just makes it a lot easier on the eye. Okay, so let me just quickly check in. I did that. I'm sorry about that. Has your fear of change crippled God's plan for you? Have you forgotten your passion for art? So it's easier to have. I personally prefer to have one audience call out that can be a question and then a transformative headline. So I would not lead with two questions, right? Because one question can be a bold yes and the other one can be like no, right? So for example, in this case, like it can be that my fear has crippled God's plans for me, but it can also be, because I know if you're doing art journaling, it could also be grief that has done this, right? So think about, has your fear, grief, trauma, pain crippled God's plans for you, right? So you'd want to, what's the broadest way to say that, right? And then that can be your audience call out, right? But I would do like a broader way, because not everyone, even if it's like anxiety or being fearful, but not everyone even feels that. So I would go a little bit broader, and I would not narrow my potential audience down to only people who struggle with fear. And then instead of have you forgotten your passion for art, I would do something like discover how to reconnect with your calling, probably purpose and calling, through art journaling. So the bold headline, it should be transformational. It should be a bold promise of a transformation, right? So this is what I would do. This is your wake-up call to a creative field, joy, love, abundance, and a passion to serve God's will. This is your wake-up call. A wake-up call sounds threatening. So when somebody is already dealing with fear, I feel that that is for my personal taste, that would be too aggressive. I would say more something. I would say something more gentle and inviting, like this is your sign. This is your sign. Serve God's will. I would do something more inviting. I would, it's like people seeking joy. So this is your sign to what we can also do. I just feel from my personal taste, there might be something wrong with this, right? So let me just show you how you can, if you feel like I'm not sure if it's there, or if I'm reviewing things and I'm like something's wrong, I don't know what, then okay, that's a good thing. I was not saying that I was just specifically saying that for the audience call out to not reduce it to fear, right? So let me just quickly go in here and say, has your fear of change crippled God's plan for you? Then have you forgotten about your passion for art? With that, you also narrow down for everyone who has already made a connection with a passion for art, which will limit you. Basically with this audience call out, you micro zooming in on a very, very specific target audience, when art journaling for Christian women is already a specific target audience, right? So there's no need to zoom in further and further and further, because the people who will say, oh yes, this is for me, get smaller and smaller and smaller, right? So this is a little bit too hyper focused for what I see working. Okay, so this is your wake up call to a creative life filled with joy, abundance, and a passion to serve God's will. Okay, so I just want to show you this. This is my headline for my, let me just share my screen again. Sorry, I always forget that. Just 1 second. Virginia maybe had a question. No, I can't see it. Oh yeah, Beth. Virginia is asking for the link, love. This is my headline for my art journaling membership for Christian women. I feel something is off. What would throw people off reading this? And now I want to say what would throw my people off reading this. So to reference back that this is for. There are few elements, spelling and grammar. Yeah, I know. The clarity, passion to serve God's will could be clearer. A passion to serve God's will. This is your wake-up call. Live a creative life filled with joy, abundance, and passion to serve God's will. I like that, because now it's our choice. Let me just see what was the original. This is your wake-up call to a creative life filled with joy, abundance. This is your wake-up call. Live a life. So my art journaling is actually helping them to turn things around. I feel wake up call is a bit threatening. It's for people who have a lot of fear, grief, trauma. I like this. From fear to faith. See, then you can bring it in here. Heal could be a bit challenging. Healing through art, journal your way to joy, abundance, and I like the journal your way. I like journal your way. I almost want to say back towards God and feeling connected with joy, your purpose. Can you make variations of that? Because journal your way back feels like, oh, there's something I can do about it, right? Because when we're grieving and when we're fearful, we feel like we're paralyzed and we feel like almost like we're falling, like we have no power. So when you say journal your way back, it's such an empowering thought, right? So this is what I love about it. Journal your way back to God, find healing, joy, and your divine purpose. I would love something like this a lot. Journal your way back to God. I feel like that would resonate more broadly and it would communicate what you have there in a much more positive way. So it would not feel like, wouldn't feel like a wake up call. Like it wouldn't feel threatening. It would actually feel like joyful and empowering. So I think that this will be the way that I will go. Journal your way back to God, find healing, joy, and your divine purpose, or rediscover. Journal your way back to God, rediscover joy and your divine purpose. This is how I would call it. Okay, so but we were on the above the fold sections here. So here we have join a premier career community for professional Black women. Own the power of your voice in 90 days or less. I love how you bring in a time frame with the confident communication method. I love that you have a methodology in here. That's fantastic. I love that you have a time frame in here. All of this gives you a huge edge. But I think the audience call out could be a little bit clearer. Let's try this. And I know that this page is converting quite well, so you would want to be a bit careful when playing around. Can you help me? How can I call out my audience? Are you a professional Black woman ready to own your voice? I would love to start with the self-identification and how they think about the overall problem my membership solves. It makes me crazy sometimes. Did I switch back to the GPT-3? Because it feels like... Please give me one-liner suggestions for the audience call out. Pain point, big problem based. Please give me 10 variations. Tired of being the invisible woman in corporate meetings? Feel like your voice is drowned in a sea of opinions, frustrated with being overlooked? I think this is good. Frustrated with being overlooked despite your hard work. Like this, but for overall career growth. Think of the end goal and the meaning of that. These 10 variations. I feel like you're overqualified and underpromoted. I think it's this. Is your career not reflecting your true worth and ambition? I feel that this is it. Okay, I feel this is it. Now, please, for my audience. I like this too. Okay, so this would be is your attention professional Black women, is your career not reflecting your true worth and ambition? And then discover the confident communication method and start aligning your career with your true potential. Results in less than 90 days. Okay, so this is how I would do. And then join now to take first steps. Join now to build a career that reflects your true worth. I think that will be sharper. So I would also try to clarify this. And maybe you would just want to have that for professional inner career circle for professional Black women. Maybe you would want to have it here. I know that the membership is Confident Woman Lead. We can have it, we can bring it in down further where we introduce that. But here I think the audience call out is more important. And I think that we should try to center this, because then your fonts become like an arrow down towards the join now. And that will be a good thing. Let me also just quickly view it on mobile. Yeah, I would also have that centered here, that portion of the text. Let me also view this quickly on mobile. This looks good on mobile. But I wish that we could bring this up more like we discussed. Okay. Okay, so here we have unlock the full creative potential of your kids with passion projects rooted in Jewish values. Okay, I think this could be, now if this was up, And if this is something, by the way, that your audience recognizes, and I'm sorry for not being knowledgeable about this, then it's also fine. But I feel like here this is independent, personal, and spiritual growth. Kids will love setting their own goals and learn. Now, that I'm taking a lot more time, I'm reading this, but I couldn't see it at first. Solution might be to make this bigger and maybe have these emojis a little bit smaller because they don't really add context. Or shorten and clarify. Join other Jewish families and educators who are creatively changing the way their kids learn. Okay, so here this actually might just be a font hierarchy problem, because now that I'm reading this, first I've really struggled to capture, but now that I'm reading this, it's actually quite clear. Okay, let's see if we can still say this shorter and sharper. Can we say this shorter and sharper? So this might actually be mostly a font hierarchy and sizing problem here. Just because, and what do I mean with font hierarchy? These fonts are not only similar fonts, but they also almost the same size. And although they have different colors, because they're all the same size, it makes it really, really hard to immediately scan for the meaning, which is, what our brain tries to do. So if we could maybe have this up here in a box and a little bit shorter, unlock the full creative of your kids with passion projects rooted in, I would almost say, unlock the full potential of your kids. Join Shine Your Light Leadership Academy and get your own adventure kit, on-demand training, games, posters. This is beautiful. Okay, so I think this can be very small tweaks where we maybe just have the audience call out here in a box. We have the mock-up more generous. We have this text here bigger and maybe a little bit reduced. And these may be on the side. And then here we have this significantly bigger and maybe a little bit sharpened. So let me see. Join innovative Jewish families and educators who make learning irresistible for kids. I like this. Do you like this? I think this is easier to digest. Can we make this even more benefit focused and clearer? Transform your child's education. Join Jewish families and educators who make learning a joy. I like it shorter and simpler. Okay. I like this, but why? We need to map the meaning. Why would someone want this? What's the desire behind it? Now make an all-encompassing statement, making sure to still call out the audience and its values. Okay, this but shorter. In a one-liner call out, give me 10 variations. Join Jewish families, making education joy, culture. Join Jewish families, making education a joy, culture, a connection, and kids future ready. I love the kids future ready part. I feel that the future proofing is because it also speaks a little bit to a fear of what we have. I feel that's beautiful. Okay, join Jewish families. Making education a joy, culture a connection, and kids. I like this, but we forgot the educators. Join Jewish families. I like this, but the membership is providing and empowering the experience. It shouldn't feel like the burden is on the parents and educators. Step into a Jewish network that empowers families to elevate. Out of all of these, join innovative Jewish families educators who make learning irresistible for kids. Maybe this, but bring in the future proof and how did you say it here? You said it really. So they love their studies. Okay, so maybe join innovative Jewish families and educators who make learning irresistible for kids. I think I would go with this. Everything else just takes it in a wrong direction. Okay, and then unlock the full creative potential of your kids with passion projects rooted in Jewish values. Okay, you have it here anyways. You could say empower, future proof, and currently I have this. I want to do empower, future proof, and word I am looking for your kids with passion projects rooted in Jewish values. I like this. Okay, empower, future proof, and inspire your kids. I like nurture. I think inspire and nurture are really amazing. Empower, future proof, and nurture your kids with passion projects, or empower, future proof, and inspire your kids with passion projects. I also like that. Both feel, both would, I think, make a good option. because the unlock the potential is something that I personally don't love to see, just because it's so vague and it's so overused. Okay, let me just quickly jump back in, see if we have any questions. You can have that in the mock-up, right? So just like I showed in the center of the mock-up, right? You would want to have, you would want to call them out. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Okay, next one. Design and publish your own card deck, deck creators. I feel that this is such a specific skill to learn that it actually, okay, so you have it, like, great for healers, psychics, wellness practitioners. I'd put that up here to make it very, very clear. Design and publish your own card deck. I think that's also beautiful, but I would love to learn a little bit more about, yeah, you know, so you can explain, like, learn the ins and outs of creating it in Canva and selling through print on demand. So this could use a little bit of meat here. Call out the audience and then explain, you know, what's covered. Design and publish your own card deck. It's a little bit too vague, right? Learn how to design a gorgeous card deck and publish it using print, publish and sell it using print on demand, right? So be a little bit more specific, because also people might think it's just digital cards. So I think it will be great if you can be a little bit more specific about the methodology, like we did for Anita. That would be really helpful. Join the Success Club for losing weight while balancing hormones and blood sugar. Balance your hormones and achieve your dream weight and energy effortlessly. Stop using these ineffective, outdated methods instead. Okay. This is a little bit redundant. So we would, for example, say women in midlife, 30 plus women, who've 30 plus women who've tried everything else, right? Or 30 plus women who are tired of dieting. So call out specifically who you want to reach up here, make the mock-up more generous. This is perfect. Balance your hormones and achieve your dream weight and energy effortlessly. When you say stop using these ineffective methods, what are these, right? So we don't have the context for that. So we want to say stop using ineffective methods like intermittent fasting. I don't know which, whatever you think, right? They're using the next diet, etc. Instead, learn how to. So I would reveal a little bit more about the balancing the hormones. That's amazing. Results. Okay, so audience call out up here. Replace that with the audience call out, put it up here. This is perfect. Here, name the outdated methods, and instead, what is it? Is it simple tweaks? Is it get the step-by-step roadmap to, you know, then you would want to say balance your hormones, and would want to say it in a new way. Can you say this again in a new way with new words? It doesn't get redundant. The roadmap to harmonizing your hormones, right? Okay, then ultimate success club. Here we have very, very similar to the podcasters, right? Remember what we said about the podcasters? Here we had dreaming of a photography business or want to earn more faster with less effort, right? Or with less effort, depending on what you teach. The audience call out can be much more specific. And then you would want to put that up. Become a sought after photographer and gain clarity on your marketing. Gaining clarity on my marketing is just one step, right? I want to do more. I want to get a crystal clear, easy to follow marketing strategy, right? So it's you can execute with a little time. So this is not, gaining clarity on your marketing is not desirable enough to be a bold promise. Because some might even say, yeah, I'm clear, like I should be doing reels, I should be doing this and that. I just don't have the time, right? So what is beyond the clarity, there is the execution, which you can provide support with, and there, by helping them answer the question. And there is the being consistent with it, having the time for it. So these objections need to be handled in a way, because the outcome, the bold promise that you make, is bolder and bigger and more all-encompassing. And then also, you can specify your method a little bit more. So do you mainly do it with social media marketing? What's kind of your secret sauce here? Digital marketing and visibility strategies, right? So that secret sauce, I wish we see it more up here. Become a sought after photographer and nail your digital marketing to finally get visible. And then instead of this, I would say, even if you've tried things before, you're rare on time, right? So try to handle the main objections here. Get coaching everything for just $7 a month, and then put this up here. This can be much more specific as well. Purpose-led entrepreneurs who manifest. Here I would say purpose-led entrepreneurs daily accountability and action taking for purpose-led entrepreneurs into action. I do like it, but you need to tell me more about your methodology of how do you get me unstuck, because I see the problem. I definitely see the problem is this being stuck and not getting into action. But I also feel that okay, so we need to do this, right? So the main issue I'm seeing with most above the fold section here is the specificity. So we could be a lot more specific. Give me 10 variations of a one-liner audience call out. To see if we have any questions. No, we're good. How would they self-identify? What's the common problem they want to solve? Now give me 10 liner call outs based on that. Let's be hyper specific and zoom in on the shared thing. Tired of spinning your wheels? Join entrepreneurs who found their true north. Stop the financial bleed. Oh, that's a good one. Join a community. Breakthrough to get. So one thing I think is really good is stopping the financial bleed because they can't get to action, right? Because Of course, they're purpose-driven, but this is like a real thing they feel when they're stuck, right? I like this angle. Okay, I like the angle of the financial lead because that's what their inaction is causing, but I need you to call out purpose, let that want to manifest, but struggle to take consistent, aligned action. Okay. Purpose-led but pocket empty, turn your vision into profitable action. Stop dreaming, start earning. Unite with purpose-led entrepreneurs taking aligned action daily. I think this is something that I would go for here as the above the fold call out, right? And I love how airy and gentle it all is. But I would still think you need to just call the kid by its name, right? So they're not they're not making enough money because they are stuck, and this is why it's also unfulfilling. Okay, so I'm going with this. Now please formulate my bold promise. Now I'm looking for your methodology on the page here. I think methodology could be clearer. This is my methodology. I know it could be clearer. Maybe you can help me with that as well. But you know that the more time you can actually put into finding the words to clearly describe exactly what you do, and I know it seems like how can I say it feels like so rigid, right? To be mindful of every word and how we use it, but it makes huge difference on how it lands on people, right? And you see how much time we're just spending on those few words above the fold. But because this section is so important, because most people either jump in or jump off here, it's time really well spent. Okay, so let's see what it came up with here. Transform your dreams into daily profits. Our program guarantees clear. No, I mean a transformative headline as a bold promise, like a before and after, or discover, or turn. Please give me 10 strong benefit-oriented headline ideas. We already had the earnings in the audience call out. Now the headline needs to be focused on the transformation. So get unstuck, take action, your blueprint. From paralysis to progress, I think that's good. 。 Okay, so let me go back to the audience call out. I think is good. Stop dreaming, start earning. Okay, when we think about this and the other insight I shared with you, what objections will people have? Right, so this is like we just talked about the photography before, right? What objections will they all have within the bold promise, and how can our bold promise be all encompassing enough to cover them? So this is where I'm trying to get with this prompt now. So I'm just letting it generate. Okay, what are the objections that it might have? Now, considering these objections, what would a bold promise for the outcome of this membership encompass if it handles them? Unlock daily purposeful living guarantee. Join a vetted community of purpose-led transformative business in 30 days. Get tailored strategies, expert guidance, and none of I want a one sentencer that comes after this audience call out. Okay, so when it doesn't do what you want it to do, you need to specifically let it know what you want. Be specific, practical, actionable. I'm live streaming yet. Okay, so then we have the audience call out would be stop dreaming, start earning, unite with purpose-led entrepreneurs, taking aligned action daily, unlock your profit potential with just 30 minutes a day with tailored strategies, expert guidance. Okay, so this is the call out. This is the headline you just gave me. I want to focus on how it feels after and the purpose more than the money in the bold promise. Also, please don't talk about money back guarantee and don't be redundant in your words. Experience clarity, confidence, and connection as you take aligned, purposeful action every day with like-minded entrepreneurs. Now I can see that together. Okay, so what would it be above your mock-up here? Above your mock-up would be stop dreaming, start earning, unite with purpose-led entrepreneurs taking aligned action daily. Below that, it would be experience clarity, confidence, and connection as you take aligned, purposeful action every day with like-minded entrepreneurs. Now the only problem is we have the aligned action twice. Now the only problem is we have the aligned action twice. Default model. Now it will get difficult. What are other ways to say taking aligned action? Making meaningful progress. Okay, that's good. You make meaningful. Just 1 second. You make meaningful progress every day with like-minded entrepreneurs. With the tools, training, and support and community of like-minded entrepreneurs you need to get unstuck. Okay, so let me see that on the page again. I try to visualize. Stop dreaming, start earning. Unite with purpose-led entrepreneurs taking aligned action daily. Experience clarity, confidence, and connection as you make meaningful progress every single day with the tools, training, support, and community of like-minded entrepreneurs you need to get unstuck. To finally get unstuck. Okay, so this is how I would do it for this one here. Let me just quickly see if we have any questions. Nope. We zoom back in. Okay, then we have the this membership. Again, I would put this up here. Join content creators, coaches, and business owners in a success club to massively grow your following on Instagram and shrink your posting time down to minutes. I like that. That is very, very clear. Fast track from 0 to 10K followers in half the time. So I would just put this up here and I would just make this mock-up a little bit more page taking. Coaches, yeah, I would put that up. I would just restructure this and I think fast track from 0 to 10K followers in half the time. I think that's good. I would just put this up here for readability, make the mockup lower in the height, but more all-encompassing on the page, and then just try to bring those items up a little bit. Join other Christian health coaches. Here you could as well, have the aspiring and established Christian health coaches. Become a sought-after health coach fast and profitably. Get life coaching. This is very close to Coach Growth Hub, so I know that it works. So I would just make sure to have the new and established coaches and put it up here. But I think this is quite good. This is really quite good. Okay, so oh, this is Stacy. Love, I didn't know this is you because I was seeing no wardrobe, right? So you help with style and wardrobe, and I'm seeing no clothes. I need to see some clothes here. Definitely. I will need to see some clothes. I don't see any clothes on the page. Where are they? Yeah, so definitely I would love, because this is about fashion and this is about color. We need to see this here, right? So maybe on the covers here, as you spread out, maybe you can have color swaps, etc. I would definitely try to add on the mock-up the clothes element, right? The wardrobe element, because otherwise people can't see that. So definitely look for ways to incorporate that. Okay, discover radiance and purpose in the only image and style collective for faith-filled Christian women. Become a confident, joyful, living your purpose and embracing your unique beauty. Trade fashion frustration for calm self-assurance, anchoring the unique beauty of your authentic self. What are we doing? I'm unclear. yeah, so this is the outcome, love, kind of. So it needs to be more up here. This is a little bit too vague, right? So what's the walk away of, especially because you have such a tangible walk away, right? So I love that you bring in the mindset, but this shines through the pores of everything, and it also is there for, because you call out Christian women, but this, just from reading this, I don't understand that this is also overhauling my wardrobe and giving me a capsule wardrobe, right? Sorry, which is like one of the main like desirable things about your offer. So I would want to see that in the call out and in the bold promise, right? And then we can still incorporate the mindset component, but basically we just coming in from that outcome angle. So this is how I would overhaul that. And I would need to read, because I don't know if the overlap between this and your flagship program. Wardrobe harmony. See, now here we have like color swaps, etc., and we have the style. So I would just love to see more of that. I would just love to see more of that. So because this is, I know that this is ultimately what it does for them, but they just want to end the wardrobe frustration, right? They just want to feel put together, have something to wear that represents who they are, that is in alignment with their faith. So let's try to bring that in. Let's really try to have the wardrobe and styling angle very, very clearly communicated above the fold. Okay, so I think this just needs an overhaul from that perspective. Let me actually see if we can do this. Okay, Radiant by Design. Would be the solution. You stopped. Stop struggling with body image. Okay, so from wardrobe frustration and body image. From wardrobe and body image frustration to fully embracing your God-given beauty and unique style. Okay, so from wardrobe and body image frustration to fully embracing your God-given beauty and style, discover the more than a wardrobe system. Discover the more than a wardrobe system method that allows you to shine from the in and outside as to shine with beauty and authenticity from the inside and outside as a Christian woman. Okay, so I have a base. We have GPT-3, but we try to make it work. Can you help me optimize my audience call out and headline. Audience, call out, headline. I'm looking to keep it in a similar length, but I just want to make it clearer, simpler, more specific, benefit driven, and desirable. Give me 5 combo variations of audience, call out, and headline. It's incredible how fast GPT-3 is. Empowering Christian women embrace your true style and beauty, radiance, your holistic guide to unveiling. Beyond wardrobes, I like that. Reveal your inner and outer. Okay. Keep it much closer to my original tonality, please. Okay, so embrace your God-given beauty journey. No more wardrobe worries. Your path from wardrobe frustration to divine style. I like this. Okay, I like this. Let me just note it down. Your path from wardrobe frustration to divine style for Christian woman. Okay, and I also like the beyond. And I like that you have a unique system. So beyond, so much more than just or than a unique wardrobe system, and so much more. Okay, so I think I got it now. It should be calling all Christian women with nothing to wear. Discover so much more than a unique wardrobe system. This is your path to go from spending hours getting dressed and still not feeling confidence to driving in your divine style. Okay, so I think this is what I want to have. I just want to clean it up a little bit. I think this is exactly what I want to go with. Just clean up the grammar. Calling all Christian women who have nothing to wear, discover more than just a unique wardrobe system. This is your path to transition from spending hours getting dressed without confidence to driving in your divine style. Can we bring in like a tagline that it's without a huge budget and that it impacts life positively daily? Calling all Christian women who have nothing to wear, discover more than just a unique wardrobe system. This is your path to transition from spending hours getting dressed without confidence to driving in your divine style, all without a huge budget, embracing the daily positive impact. All without a huge budget. I think it might get too long. I would probably just leave it at that, driving in your divine style, all without a huge budget. This is what I do. I'm adding this conversation as well here. Okay, so let me summarize the tips here a little bit. Have a specific audience call out. Consider stages of the journey, right? Like they haven't even started yet, they're just dreaming about it versus they're already seasoned. Tip number 10 is your main headline is a bold promise. It promises the transformation without the things they want to avoid, which are the objections. Okay. And tip number 11 is make the template yours. So our lovely people were using the template, but just because on my page I have, most coaches charge anywhere between $97 and $497 per month for this kind of value, doesn't mean you have to do that, right? You can tab out, and if you find a better tagline, a more fitting tagline, then do that. It's all about be clear, specific, practical. Don't use vague, fluffy language, even if it sounds nice. People need to get like what is it actually that we're doing here? People need to get that. And this is the more true, the more you're not in a making money niche. Because in a making money niche, in a sense, you always have it a little bit easier because people are really, really craving these kind of solutions. Okay. And tip number 12 is make smart use of every single word. Don't use flat, bright colors on the background. Try to give bright colors texture to make it easier on the eye and not distract from the mockup and text. Okay? So, pay attention to mobile. Pay attention to mobile. Let me see if we have any other questions around this right now. No, I'm just I just gone through some of the people who have submitted their memberships. So I'll try to do more of those kind of live reviews because I think it's always like such a learning opportunity when you see those real examples and they carve out also, they help me to surface those little learnings along the way and kind of bundle them up for you. So this is why we're doing them. Yeah. Now I will have to finish my pumpkin spice latte. I have had like one for every like for the last 3 days in a row, I think. Yeah, then I see you very, very soon in the communities. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will link everyone that I have mentioned here because they were okay with me sharing this. I will tag everyone in the video as well and comment there. Thank you so much. Bye for now.